Hello and welcome back to KSP at Astra. Hopefully you like that. We refueled the Calypso so it can make its way out to the Metzley station, allowing it to do a whole bunch of fuel when we retrieve our Kerbals from the surface of the Mun in a couple of days. But ultimately not this episode. So, we are sending it out there. Those Kerbals are very hungry for, not being on the surface of the Mun. I've left them there for several in-game years now, which is not particularly good. But what will be good is the fact that we are retrieving them, and I have fixed the clock system up there in the top left-hand corner, so that now all of the life support and things like that actually work to regular Kerbal time, because they have been working to regular Kerbal time the whole time. But for some reason, I was in real life time. I don't know why it was set to that. There's just a setting in the settings that allows that, and I didn't mean to turn it on. So I turned it off, and everything is running just fine. I also added in the new Firefly mod, which is the really cool re-entry effects, which show bow shock and all of that, and has all the colors. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed seeing them, and I have some more things this episode where I very much enjoyed looking at them. Here we are approaching the Mun, about to do our capture burn. And it also doubles a little bit as our encounter burn. We do get really close, but we do ultimately end up missing it just by a hair. Here we are, we're coming in really fast. This is at 10 times speed as well as the 4 times accelerated speed. We do know from, many episodes at this point that, we're really bad at figuring out what time we're actually, or not what time, it's just a really slow rocket. It's just very slow. But thankfully, we do have some more engines coming down the pipeline that should help us out, no longer be just stuck in place, which is always great. Here we are coming in real close for we need to create a new encounter. So here we are firing our engines, and here we are gonna go and turn around real quick. And this craft is about to get a new home station soon, after we finish up this episode and maybe next episode as well. May no longer be stationed regularly at Odin Station, and may be stationed around the Mun, which would be a pretty cool, not Mun, Minmus, around Minmus, because, that kind of makes sense. Have a big old tanker above where we're going to get most of our propellant for the near future. So, yeah, here we are, finally about to make our final approach on the station very soon. Here it is, there's the station. It's coming in real hot, real fast. And look at us, we're just burning to get us just our rendezvous. There is the lag spike that I get when I encounter a new vessel. And there we go. There is Metzley Station, which is currently our largest station, and it is in a polar orbit of the Mun. We launched this actually kind of a while ago now, but yeah, hopefully we can build some more stations in the near future. I am completing a lot of contracts, mostly in the next episode, I believe. I complete quite a few, and that definitely helps us do all of the missions that we want to do in the near future, which includes bases out in the outer solar system or Kerbaler system. We are doing the very excruciatingly slow docking process that is common with the Calypso. because it is so unbelievably slow, bulky, and there is just these little tiny thrusters. Soon we will have much better thrusters, but right now they're not that great. We will be launching a new rocket soon, and we will no longer be our flagship ship will no longer be the Calypso in the near future. But here we are coming into dock. Unfortunately, we won't be doing really any propellant transfer today, but this is for future propellant transfers. And there we go. We are docked. Now, Hermes Mun 3. This is actually a contract that we need to complete. It is to put a communications satellite around the Mun, and it's part of our Hermes communications network that we've been basically establishing throughout the solar system, or the Kerbal system. Sorry. But we've been establishing multiple satellites around the Kerbal system to basically create a communications network. As of right now, we can really only get out to Duna with our communications, and that's only for about most of the year. This should help us get more constant communication throughout the system, especially a more constant communication network around the Mun. But here's our first stage coming in for a landing up there in the top right-hand corner. We will get a better view of it in just a second. There it is. Those are those beautiful re-entry effects coming in through the atmosphere and slowing down about as quick as possible. There I was shutting down most of the engines so that we are a little bit more efficient on our landing and we aren't producing way too much power. Here we are. We're about to fire up those engines and land safely in the ocean. Now here's the second stage. We're about to send it on its way. And then we will decouple the second stage from the third stage, which is the payload. Go. And now we will separate the two. In just a second, I believe. There we go. That's separation. And we will be sending it out there and making our circularization burn. While all of this is happening, I am sending out a small satellite to Minmus. It is a lander. I accidentally forgot to include it, but I feel like it is very important for, well, what comes next. Yep, Minmus base marker. It basically is going out there to mark where our base is going to go. And that is its real true purpose in where we're putting it. But we're going to land it. We're going to land it at one of the most productive spots in Minmus, and preferably on a flats, on one of the salt, or, well, ice cream flats, I guess. On one of those flats so that we can actually, you know, full-blown do everything. I swapped over to the other satellite, the one, like the surveyor, the Minmus surveyor probe, and it is going to show us where we need to land. Here I am just flicking through all of the stuff to see where I need to go. And yeah, I kind of fast forwarded a little bit. I don't know why, but there we go. I kind of found where I needed to go, and now we are going to land the Minmus lander in the spot that we're going to go. If you can see on that bottom left-hand side of the screen, not bottom left-hand, but like on the left side of Minmus right there, that little red area, that is where we are going to land. That is one of the richest areas for deposits as it was flipping through things. So this will allow us to, once we establish a full-blown base here, it will allow us to actually, like, mine. Here I am going towards this little bluff here so that we can actually drive out of it with, not probes, but with rovers, with Kerbals on board, which I believe will be pretty cool, and it will allow us to gain science all over Minmus, which is great. Here we are, slowly coming in for a landing. Perfect touchdown. And it's a fairly lightweight lander, and it actually kind of meant that the legs were almost a little overkill. Like they barely even bend when they hit the ground, which is interesting. But here we are with the first base segment. Now, this is the life support segment that is going to fly all the way out to Minmus. It is fairly impressive. It's basically a hydroponics, and then it has a life support, and then it has a what's it called on board? It also has a some power production and some communications ability, which is pretty good for something this size. Technically, I could have put out a different one of all of these, but I thought, hey, why not put all of them out at once? It's not going to be our end-all be-all on power production. This thing could probably really only run itself right now, and the communications is just a nice little bonus. But here we are making our circularization burn, or our orbital burn. Yeah, whatever that is. In the top right-hand corner, you can again see those beautiful re-entry effects coming into the atmosphere. And there we are, slowing down, shutting down those engines, and coming in to the ground really quickly. And yeah. These reusable first stages actually do help us regain a lot of the cost of launching these craft, especially the reusable second stages. That also helps us recoup, I think, like 2/3 of the total cost of each one of these launches, which is always great. Although I do kind of think that maybe some of the reason why they're so expensive is because we have all the hardware on board to land them. But, you know, it's fine. There we go. We're going to apply our capture burn real quick. There it is. And we need to come in real low so we can find our spot to land. And there we go. That is our maneuver node that is set for the future. And I put the launch that was actually in between this in actually the next episode. But here we go. We are basically on our way to encounter Minmus now. There we go. We have encountered Minmus, and we are going to bring down our periapsis so that it is as low as possible. And then once we get there, we're going to lower our apoapsis as well. If you didn't know what a periapsis and apoapsis is, it's basically the highest point in your orbit and the lowest point in our orbit. Like, for instance, if you're around the sun, it's like the sun in our universe, not in Kerbal Space Program. It's called a perihelion and an aphelion. Just so you know. Here we are coming in real quick, and you can see those modules, the life support modules, that will help us retain so much, and will also help us basically build a fully fledged colony on the surface of Minmus. Now, it's not quite like the colonies that were promised in KSP2, which I am still salty about, but hey, I mean, what you gonna do? It's fairly dead. It's like dead for like a year now. Here we are, making our landing zone known or targeted, which is that little probe that we sent to Minmus earlier in today's episode. I don't know where the footage of the launch of that rocket went, but it doesn't really matter now. Here we are coming in at a breakneck pace, but we slowed ourselves down and we're kind of showing where we're about to land. And yeah, there we go. Just slowing ourselves down just a little bit, just a little bit more. And you can see some of those Kerbal attachment system parts are up there, up on the front. That will allow us to do resource transfers between all sorts of other things around in the area. I added a little extra on board so that we can just kind of take them off and attach them to other things if we forget them on the other craft. And yeah, this will be a very useful base for fuel production. And I think even other large-scale rockets in the future, we can start manufacturing like material kits and stuff like that, so we can build huge rockets on the surface of Minmus, or even in orbit around Minmus. Basically create an orbital docking yard out in space near Minmus, which would be really cool. But for right now, we are just going to land and then dish this little stage into the mountain over there, and that'll be all for today. Have a good day. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. And if you want to see more, also do that. Or just, like the video, comment. I like comments. Goodbye.